Visa and MasterCard this.
Lot 9 start to dare. Lot 9 start to dare. The fuck? Tell me. Nobody tell me Lot 9 launched today.
Blue Protocol Star Resonance is launching sooner than you think. After years of uncertainty and twists in development, the official release is finally on the horizon. Today, we're diving into everything you need to know about what's coming next, why the timing makes sense, and what it means for the fans eagerly awaiting the game. My name is Forever, welcome back to the channel, and right now, the closed beta recruitment is underway, and the testing phase is about to begin, marking a significant step forward for the game. If you've been following Blue Protocol's journey, you know the road has been anything but smooth, but with this beta starting soon, the pieces are falling into place for what looks like a major moment in the MMO scene. Before we actually talk about why Blue Protocol's official launch is coming so soon, we need to take a step back and really set the stage. We need to get the full picture because to understand where this game is going, you need to understand where it's been, the whole journey up until now. So let's rewind it to the beginning. Blue Protocol first burst onto the scene with his very first reveal trailer back at the Game Awards in 2022, and honestly it made a pretty big splash. The hype was real. If you tallied up all the trailers combined, including those regional ones they dropped after, you're looking at well over 1 million views. It wasn't just a casual interest, people were genuinely excited for what this game could be. It caught the attention of the MMO and anime style RPG fans all alike. At the time, the plan was for the game to launch sometime in 2023, that was the official word. But as things went on, it became clear that 2023 wasn't going to happen. Bandai Namco, who originally had the publishing rights, realized the game wasn't ready for prime time, so instead of down the game service in Japan starting January the 18th of 2025, and for a lot of fans, this felt like a gut punch. Years of waiting, testing, and hoping has come crashing down. The community was understandably discouraged and heartbroken, and for a lot of people, hope was pretty much lost at that point. But then this is where things get interesting. Not too many months later, the game was brought back to life. Blue Protocol was resurrected under a new title, Blue Protocol Star Resonance. This wasn't just a rebrand, the game was taken over by a new developer, Shingai Network Technologies, and published by a company called A+, so basically Bandai Namco was out of the picture. Now when news dropped, I won't lie, the fan base was mixed. There was some excitement, sure, but there was a lot of skepticism. The fact that the new version of the game was being made both for PC and mobile simultaneously raised eyebrows. People weren't sure if this was going to be a watered down experience or if the core gameplay would hold up, and honestly, a lot of that skepticism still exists today. But here's the thing, Blue Protocol Star Resonance is still Blue Protocol at its core. It's not a completely different game, but at the same time, it's definitely not the exact same game either. The new developers have made significant improvements to the core systems, they've added a lot of new features and made changes that, from what I can see, aim to make the game more engaging and enjoyable. There's still some elements that might turn off the average player, but overall the version feels fresh and different compared to the Bandai Namco days, and for better or worse, is his own beast now. And that brings us to where we are today, with the official launch right around the corner. So here's why we should be expecting Blue Protocol Star Resonance to officially launch very soon globally. Right now we're sitting in August of 2025, and that means we're less than 5 months left in the year, 4 months if we're being precise. That's a tight window to get the game fully out the door. The dev team has been grinding hard, no doubt about it, pushing to get this game ready into players' hands while the momentum is hot. Now, delays aren't uncommon in the game development, far from it, but what really convinces me that we're on the home stretch is the timeline we can see from the Chinese official release. The servers went live there on July the 17th, 2025, and just a week after that, the global closed beta recruitment kicked off on July the 24th, so we're seeing a clear sequence here. Digging deeper, the closed beta recruitment for China happened earlier from April the 8th to April the 20th. That's where they were back then, recruiting players for the closed beta test. The actual gameplay test followed sometime after that, probably late April. So if you map that out from recruitment and closed beta times to full launch, China had roughly just under 3 months before opening the servers. Now here in the global scene, we're basically at the same stage right now. Closed beta recruitment, the actual testing about to begin soon. So by that logic, if we follow the same timeline as China, the global release should be around November or December. But here's why I don't think it's going to take that long, and I mean genuinely believe it's going to be happening a lot sooner. First off, the game is already doing pretty well in China. It's been met with a solid reception and over 1 million active players from what I can tell now. That means the developers now have a massive pool of data, player behavior, feedback, bug reports, and performance metrics. Way more than what they had when the Chinese launch was fresh. They could use this information to fine-tune and improve the game faster than before. Plus, the global player feedback during the closed beta will pour in quickly, giving the devs even more to work with to polish things out. This accelerates their ability to fix problems and adjust the gameplay, speeding up the patch to launch. Then, considering the timing, launching in November or December would land right in the middle of major holidays in North America and Europe, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all those family-centered moments. Historically, those aren't the best months to launch a game that needs players to jump in fresh and active, and people's attention is elsewhere and sales tends to fluctuate. So putting it all together, the extra data from China, the closed beta kicking off now globally, and the desire to avoid a holiday launch, it's logical that the official global release will happen well before 2025, and I believe much sooner than most expect. Obviously, this is just me speculating based on the information that we've seen, but this is information in my opinion that makes the most sense. So yeah, that's pretty much where we stand with things with Blue Protocol Star Resonance. We gone from complete radio silence and disappointment to a surprise reveal that now quickly is picking up steam. Based on everything we've seen, the testing timelines, the data that they're collecting, the momentum from China, it really feels like we're right on the edge of something big here, and if they can deliver on a polished global launch before the year wrap up, there's going to be a huge win not just for the longtime fans, but the future of the game overall. Now keep in mind, if you want to stay up to date with everything happening around Blue Protocol and get real updates as they come out, be sure you are subscribed to the channel, as I'll be covering everything leading into the launch, as well as keep you guys up to date on plenty of guides once the game actually releases here globally. As always, my name is Trevor. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one very soon.
Hey everyone, Anders here. We're going to go over the latest information and my early first impressions on the newly released MMORPG Blue Protocol Star Resonance. This game is not exactly new, as it used to be known as Blue Protocol in Japan when it released in 2023, developed and published by Bandai Namco. The game unfortunately was a total failure due to slow development, lack of content, and bad monetization. A year later, in 2024, Bandai Namco declared itself to be in a state of insolvency, and when this happens, it is because a company is unable to meet its financial obligations as they become due. Essentially, imagine your credit card bill is due in a week and you realize you don't have money in your bank account to pay your debts. Insolvency is a bit more serious than that for individuals, but for companies it's still a serious problem, and this sometimes leads to bankruptcy. But in Bandai Namco's case, they sold off assets like Blue Protocol, cancelled in-development games, and downsized or fired a lot of their employees. Shanghai Bokura Technology went ahead and bought the Blue Protocol assets and rights with a plan of reshaping the game to fit into a a mobile MMORPG that is also playable on PC. Bokura is funded by Tencent, and Tencent is publishing the game in China. For global release, A+ Japan, a Japanese publisher, will be handling things. One of the upsides of Bokura buying the old assets is that the game in China is fully voiced with the original Japanese dub, which was one of the highlights of the game when it released in Japan. It seems likely that we will also be getting a global version that has Japanese dub with English interface and subtitles. This is semi-confirmed by what we see in the official Steam page. There is a beta announcement this week on the 24th of July, giving us more information as to when we can expect a global beta, but the game is rumored to be releasing as soon as August of this year. Officially, as of making this video, the release window
What the? Stuff is gay. Oh, Kennedy, fuck. So easy. No need download. Long time no see. Wow. Oh my god. Download. But very fast. Wow. Damn fast. Oof, damn fast.